Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to share with you this pattern today because this is my channel's first birthday, 1 year old. And what's a better way to celebrate it than with a cake, but not just a cake, it's a cake hat. If you don't know me, my name is Lala, nice to meet you. I upload a new crochet tutorial every Monday. So stick around and subscribe. It would really help my channel grow for the next year. So grab your hooks and let's get crocheting. So we're gonna start by tripling our yarn for our hat to be stiff and more steady. So if you want a more elaborated tutorial on how to do this, I have the tutorial up in my channel. You're welcome to use it. And we're gonna start with a magic ring with our tripled yarn. Just like as we would use a singular strand. Let's produce more tripled yarn. And we're gonna start by working 10 half double crochets into the magic ring. To work a half double crochet, you're gonna yarn over, into the loop, yarn over, into the loop, and yarn over into all 3 loops. Repeat that again until you have 10 half double crochets inside the ring. And throughout all this tutorial, we're going to join rounds with a slip stitch into the first stitch of the round. So to work a slip stitch, you're going to insert your hook into the first half double crochet of the round, yarn over, into the loop, and when you have 2 loops on your hook, you're going to grab the left one into the right one, like this. And next, chain 1. Next, we're going to increase in each stitch. So we're going to half double crochet into that first half double crochet of the round. 1, 2, working 2 half double crochets in 1 half double crochet. So continue working your increases in each stitch, and I'll see you back again at the end of the round. Don't forget that if you ran out of tripled yarn, you can simply take your fingers, pinch the singular strand from the loop, and now you have more tripled yarn. And work our last increase. Don't mistake the slip stitch as a stitch, it's just something to join the round. We now have 20 stitches in the round, which is what we're supposed to have. We're simply going to skip this slip stitch and work another slip stitch into that first half double crochet. This yarn is very slippery. Slip stitch and chain 1. Next, we're going to work a pattern of 1 half double crochet. So work a half double crochet into the first stitch of the round. Move to the next stitch and work an increase. 1 and 2. This is it. We're just going to repeat that until the end of the round. 1 half double crochet, move to the next stitch and work an increase. Keep repeating this, and I'll see you back again at the end of the round. Slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round. If you're making this hat for a child, you should stop at this round and continue from round 5. If you're making this for adult, we're going to start round 4 by working 1 half double crochet into the first stitch of the round. Move to the next stitch and work an increase. And next we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and in the next stitch we're going to work an increase. 2 half double crochets in 1 stitch. Ignore the 2 first stitches, the 1 half double crochet and increase. We're going to work this pattern of 2 half double crochets followed by an increase until we have 1 stitch remaining at the end of the round. So 1, 2, and increase. Meet me back again when you have 1 last stitch at the end of the round. Let's finish our round. 1, 2, and last increase. And as you can see, as I promised, we have 1 remaining stitch. We're going to work a half double crochet into that remaining stitch. And we're going to join this round a little bit differently. We're going to insert our hook into the back loop only. As you can see, you have 2 lines here, the 2 loops. This is the front loop and this is the back one. So we're going to insert our hook into the back loop only. Slip stitch and chain 1. For round 5, we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each stitch, but in the back loops only of each stitch, like this. So into the first one it's easy because we already slip stitched into it. Grab a stitch marker and mark this unused front loop here. And next move to the next stitch and work a half double crochet into the back loop only. And again into back loop only. Repeat this step until you reach the end of the round, 40 stitches in the round, and I'll see you back again. Let's finish up our round. Again, this is a slip stitch. We're not gonna work a half double crochet into it. Make sure that you have 40 stitches around and we haven't missed any stitch. And now we can slip stitch into the stitch, the first half double crochet of the round, which is a bit difficult now. Slip stitch and chain 1, and this is our round. And now for the fun part, we're going to half double crochet around 40 stitches in each round, from round 6 to round 9. Of course, don't forget that at the end of each round you have to slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round and chain 1. So let's continue working our round and I'll see you back again at the end of round 9. I'm at the end of round 9. Let's slip stitch the round together, chain 1, and now we can finally cut off the yarn and fasten off. So to cut off the triple yarn, you don't have to cut all of the 3 strands. It's just going to be a waste of yarn. We're just going to cut the singular strand, and that would be enough. Grab the hook, tighten it up, and now for the glazing part. Next we're gonna grab our color B yarn. I chose this baby pink and triple it like we did before. If you need a refreshment on how to triple your yarn, I'll put a card and a link to my tutorial for this. And now we're gonna work a slip knot with the triple yarn. We have our slip knot. We're going to take our top tier of the cake, and remember when we put this stitch marker here, we're now going to Insert our hook into that front loop, and now take out the stitch marker so we won't lose it, and attach the yarn. Just grab the yarn into the loop and into the pink loop. After you have attached the new yarn, color B yarn, we're going to work a puff stitch into the next stitch. So yarn over, into the loop, yarn over into the loop, do that again, and then yarn over into all of the loops, and slip stitch into the next stitch. Next, we're going to work a puff stitch into the next stitch. 1 and 2 yarn overs, yarn over into all of the loops. Then you're going to chain 1, skip the next loop, and work a slip stitch into the one next to it. And this is our glazing. The first one was a little bit different, but now on we're going to repeat this pattern of puff stitch, 1 chain, and a slip stitch. Move to the next stitch and repeat. Puff stitch, yarn over, chain 1, skip the next stitch and work a slip stitch into the one next to it. Let's repeat this pattern, and I'll see you back again when we have 1 stitch left. When we finished our glazing for the top tier of the cake, we have 1 stitch remaining, and of course the slip stitch. So in order to cover this gap here, we're going to work another puff, chain 1, and slip stitch into that first stitch of the round. Not into the pink one, but into the original white loop. This will close our round neatly. We're soon going to get rid of all of the strands. Chain 1, cut off the singular strand, not all of the 3. Grab the hook. Next, we're going to weave in the tails. You can do it later if you'd like, but I like to get rid of it as soon as possible because it's my least favorite part of the project. And it's nicer to have a neater look. All right, so you can just weave in the strands into the pink glazing. And what I like to do is to insert the hook into the inner part of the project, take it out. Now grab the leftovers from the slip knot, insert it into the darning needle, insert it as well into the inner side. And what you're going to do next is just tie the strands together so it will be extra secure. Just a regular shoelace tie, nothing fancy, and of course cut off the extra yarn. You can also weave in the tail from the cake itself, or you can do it later, it doesn't matter. I like to do it right now so I can get rid of it. Next, we're going to work the side glazing of the cake. So you're going to grab 5 stitch markers, pick any stitch of round 6 and mark it with a stitch marker on the bottom of the stitch of round 6. Next, count 7 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and mark another half double crochet on round 6. Repeat this step for 5 times until you complete a full round, and I'll see you when all of our 5 stitch markers attached. Next, grab your color B yarn, same as the glazing, and your 4mm hook. I use this beautiful tulip Timo one, I love it, and work a slip knot. You can place it on the desk right now. Pick any of the stitch markers you just placed, take it out and replace it with the hook, just behind that stitch right here. Grab the slip knot and place it on the hook and into the loop. Next, we're going to chain 17. 1, 2, when you're working the last loop, the last chain, work it a little bit more loosely. Now we're going to move over to the next stitch marker, take it out, insert the hook, yarn over into the loop, and we're slip stitching into the last chain. Like this. So we're going to repeat this step, just chain 17, move over to the next stitch we marked with a stitch marker, and slip stitch into the row, the round. So keep repeating these steps until you complete full round, and I'll see you back again when we're done, completed the round. We're going to simply slip stitch into that first half double crochet we chose to slip stitch into. Slip stitch, chain 1, grab your scissors and cut off the yarn. Tighten it up, and we have our side decoration. We're going to make our candle with a 4mm hook and color C of your choice. I chose this lavender color, and we're going to start by making a magic ring. Next, work 6 single crochets into the ring. To work a single crochet, you're gonna insert your hook into the ring, yarn over, into the ring. When you have 2 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over into the both of them. And this is our first single crochet. We're gonna work 5 more. Close the ring, pull this strand here, and as usual we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round to join the round and chain 1. Next we're going to work a round of single crochet in a round, but into the back loops only. So insert your hook between the loops as we did before, into the back loop only, and work a single crochet. Into the back loop, yarn over, single crochet. Let's do that 6 times. and slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round and chain 1. And now from round 3 to round 9 we're going to simply single crochet around for 7 rounds, 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I'll go make my rows off camera and I'll see you back again at the end of round 9. When you got to the end of round 9, this is how it looks. I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round, chain 1, cut off the yarn and leave a long tail for sewing. And now we're going to make the flame. To create the flame, we're going to continue working with the 4mm hook and a singular strand of yellow yarn, color D. And we're going to start by making a slip knot and leave a long tail from the slip knot, like this. Next, chain 6. Now we're going to work into the back bumps of the foundation chain, starting from the second chain from the hook, not this one, but this one. We're going to work a slip stitch into the back bumps. Move to the next bump and work a single crochet. Move to the next bump and work a half double crochet. Move to the next bump and work a single crochet. And into the last bump you're going to work a slip stitch. Now we're going to turn our work like this, chain 1, and work a slip stitch into the next stitch. Move to the next stitch and work a single crochet. Move to the next stitch and work a half double crochet. Move to the next stitch and work a single crochet. And into the last stitch, a slip stitch. Next we're going to chain 2. Cut off the yarn. And fasten off. Next, you're going to use a darning needle to pass the tail from the top of the flame to the bottom. Just pass it through the core of the flame. Doesn't matter from which to where, just as long as it's in the bottom. Look how cute! Next, we're going to sew the flame to the top of the candle. So insert any of the tails to the darning needle and insert the needle to the center of the magic ring of round 1, all the way down to the bottom of the candle. It's better to use a longer darning needle here. And we're going to use this tail to sew the flame to the top of the candle. Just sew the flame to the candle, back and forth, just to make sure it sits nicely. When the flame is attached properly, you can just pass the needle inside the flame a few times just to secure the tail. And when you're done, just pass the needle to the bottom of the candle. And next we're going to tie the two strands together just to have some extra security. And now you can just tuck in the yellow tails. Don't tuck in the purple tails, we're going to need them later. And this is our candle. Next we're going to take back our top tier of the cake and our candle, and we're going to use that center tail from the magic ring to center it into the top tier of the cake. So grab the darning needle back again and insert it into the center of the magic ring. Now, of course, that it's not enough to make our candle really steady, so we're going to use this other tail to sew to the top tier of the cake. And now our candle is secure. Insert the darning needle into the candle again and out of the cake. So we can tie the two tails together and have it extra secure as well. As you can see, I really like tying my tails. Now let's move on to the bottom tier of the cake. So the bottom tier of the cake starts exactly the same as the top tier of the cake. So what you're going to do is you're going to repeat round 1 until round 4 of part 1, and I'll see you back again at the end of round 4. To start round 5, chain again and work 3 half double crochets in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3, and in the next stitch we're going to work an increase. 1 and 2 in the same stitch. This is the pattern that we're going to repeat until the end of the round. 1, 2, 3 half double crochets, and in the 4th stitch we're going to work an increase. In the end of this round we're going to have 50 stitches. Let's work the last increase for round 5 and slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round, and chain 1. Now if you're making this hat for a child or a young teen, then you should stop here and skip the next round. Let's meet again at the end of round 6. If you're making this hat for adult, first of all, you're very cool. And next, let's start round 6. Chain 1 again. Work 1 half double crochet into the first stitch of the round. Move to the next stitch and work another half double crochet. Move to the next stitch and work an increase. And now work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. After we've completed 4 half double crochets in the next 4 stitches, work an increase in the 5th stitch. Ignore the first 3 stitches. We're going to repeat this pattern of 4 half double crochets and an increase until we have 2 stitches remaining at the end of the round. So again, 4 half double crochets, and an increase in the 5th stitch. I'll see you back again at the end of the round when we have 2 stitches left. After we've worked the last increase of round 6, we're gonna have 2 stitches remaining, so we're just gonna half double crochet into each stitch. Next, slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round, slip stitch and chain 1. Now we're gonna start working on the crown, so chain again. And we're gonna again work into the back loops only. So work 1 half double crochet into the back loop, of each stitch, into the back loop, and continue working your back loop stitches until you get to the end of the round. You will have 60 stitches. If you're working on this hat for a child, you'll have 50 stitches. So let's complete our round, and I'll meet you back again at the end of the round. At the end of the round, again, slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round, chain 1, and as we did in the top tier, we're going to mark the first stitch of the last round, round 7. We're going to use it for the glazing later. Next, chain 1, and now for the next 6 rounds, we're going to simply half double crochet 1 in each stitch until we reach the end of round 13. If you're making this for a child, you can stop at round 11. I'll do my rounds of half double crochet off camera, and I'll see you back again at the end of round 13. Okay, now that we have our 14th round and our hat looks like this, let's close the round and fasten off. Slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round and chain 1. Cut off the singular yarn. If it will make it easier for you, you can take the stitch marker and mark the first half double crochet of the round. It will make it easier for us to find it later like this. Fasten off, and we're going to continue with the tripled color B yarn. I'm going to work a slip knot, Take out the stitch marker that we attached to the first stitch of the last round. Insert your hook into the front loop only, like we did before. Place the slip knot on the hook. Into the loop and chain 2. Into that same loop, we're going to work a half double crochet. Mark your first half double crochet just to be sure. It's always good. Next, work another 4 half double crochets in the next 4 stitches, front loops only again. Five. And in the 6th stitch we're going to work an increase, so 2 half double crochets in the same front loop only. And repeat 5 half double crochets in the next 5 stitches. And in the 6th stitch we're going to work an increase, again into the front loops only. So complete this round and I'll meet you back again at the end of the round. 5 half double crochets followed by an increase until the end of the round. And in the last stitch we're going to work an increase. This will bring us up from 60 stitches to 70, but it's our last round, so it's not really important. As long as it's worked in the front loops and gives us this beautiful cap shape. Take out the stitch marker and slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round and chain 1 to close the round. And I just 1 yard chicken here because I don't have much yarn left, but if you were to have a lot of yarn left, you could just cut off the singular strand and pull the hook and fasten off. We're going to weave in all the ends later. Next we're going to work the top glazing of the bottom tier of the cake, and we're going to do it with color B yarn, tripled as before. So triple your yarn and work a slip knot. And next you're going to locate the stitch marker we placed on the first half double crochet of round 6. We're going to insert our hook instead. Place the slip knot. Into the loop and chain 1. And in this round we're going to work on the unused front loops of round 7. So move over to the next front loop and work a puff stitch like we did before. Yarn over into the loop, yarn over into the loop, yarn over into all of the loops. You can mark this first stitch if it's easier, the first chain we did. Next you're going to chain 1, skip the next loop and work a slip stitch into the one next to it. So this is the pattern that we're going to repeat. 1 puff stitch into the front loop, chain 1, skip the next loop and work a slip stitch into the one next to it. And we're going to work this pattern until you have 1 stitch left. So let's complete our round. I'll complete my round off camera and I'll see you back again when we have 2 stitches left. When we have one stitch left, we're going to work a puff stitch into that one last stitch. Front loops only, of course. We're going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into that first chain we did to attach color B yarn. Chain 1, cut off the singular strand only. And now we're going to go and make the side decorations. Next, we're going to grab a stitch marker and place it on any half double crochet of row 8. Just like we did with the top tier of the cake. And then you're going to count 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And place a stitch marker on the 10th stitch away from that first stitch marker. I'm going to repeat that a few more times until we go back around. We'll have 6 stitch markers around. Let's place that last stitch marker. Oh. And then we're just gonna pick any of the stitch markers on the cake. Grab your color B yarn and your 4mm hook. Work a slip knot. Pick any of the stitch markers around. Insert your hook. Place the slip knot into the stitch. And now chain 20. 1, 2, 3. Take out the next stitch marker and slip stitch into that stitch. Again, chain 20. And slip stitch into the next stitch. This is what you're going to do all around the cake. 20 chains, slip stitch into the next stitch in round. And I'll see you again when we have our glazing done. When you completed the round and you have all of your decorations on the side, let's attach the last chain to the first chain of the decoration. So simply slip stitch into that first chain. Chain 1, cut off the yarn, pull the hook. You can weave in the ends right now and tie them together for extra security. I'm going to take a minute to weave in all of these annoying ends. And now let's sew the top part to the bottom part. To start sewing the two parts together, you're going to grab color A yarn and make a slip knot to attach the yarn to the top tier. Doesn't matter where. Insert your hook. Place the slip knot on the hook and into the loop. Chain 1 for security. I'm going to weave in that later. Next, you're going to leave a very long tail for sewing. Cut off the yarn, pull the hook, so we'll have a knot. I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is round 5. You're gonna sew it in between row 5 and 6 here to make sure that the top part is not caving in. Just place the top part on the bottom part. You're gonna insert your darning needle into the front loop or the back loop, depends on where you're looking at, into the top loop right now. And into any of the stitches of between round 5 and 6. And do that again. Top loop, next stitch. You can stretch it as you go, so it will cover more of the stitches, because on round 5 we have 10 more stitches. You're gonna have to make some adjustments. When you're finished and your top part is attached, you can make a little knot with the tail from the slip knot. Even 2, of course. And weave in those 2 ends. Cut off any tail left. And your birthday cake hat is done. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me celebrating my channel's birthday. Again, if you like this tutorial, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. It would really help my channel grow for the next year. See you next Monday!